Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, friends. Welcome to today's webinar. For giving me this opportunity. We hold these weekly webinars to create awareness on topics such as this, with the hopes of sharing valuable information with our community, as we believe it will be useful in some ways to those who are participating with us. Before I introduce our special guests today, I want to give you a brief introduction about the Voice of Men. Voice of Men 360 is a nonprofit organization founded in 2020 and is based in Toronto, Canada. Voice of Men 360 organization was born out of seeing the tremendous need of boys and men in society today. So Voice of Men stepped up to support and help them in many areas of their lives. We are part of an International Men's Day, which is a global organization. International Men's Day is based on 6 pillars, which has to do with the overall well-being of boys and men. It has been around for over 21 years and celebrated in nearly 90 countries. These countries across the world join together to do various activities on a regular basis. So welcome everybody. Before we dive into our show this evening, I would like to just take a minute and pull up my disclaimer here for those who are joining us. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any facilitated discussion by the Voice of Men 360 is always brought forward in good faith. However, may bring forth dialogue and opinions that are not representative of this organization. The facts and information are believed to always be accurate at the time they are offered. All facilitators, guest speakers, panel members, and audience participants are responsible for using their own good judgment in taking any actions that may relate to the discussions. The content brought forward may include discussion for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It is important to know that this organization is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutic advice. If you need crisis intervention or therapy, you need to engage the services of a mental health professional. If you have any questions about this disclaimer or the panel discussion, you may freely contact the Voice of Men 360 organization through the website, and the contact information is posted. With this now said, going forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in this event in any capacity, we welcome you. Should you decide that this event is not for you at this time, we respect that choice and we welcome you to join us again at a later time. So with that said, I'd like to introduce you to our very exciting panel of young men. Guys, I'm going to just share that we have Luke with us from the UK, Alex from Australia, and Benjamin from the United States. And I'm going to call on Luke, if you could please just give the folks an idea of who you are and your age and what we're here to talk about.
Hey, my name's Luke Mullins. I'm from the UK and I'm 15 years old. I'm one of the co-founders here at Rich Kids Global, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
And Alex, come on board.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm 13 years old and I am another co-founder of Rich Kids Global, where we will be discussing our maps and our values.
Awesome. Benjamin?
Yeah, so I'm Ben. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm 14. And Rich Kids Global is all about helping kids become rich in knowledge, inspiration, and most importantly, success. And we're doing that through online programs and communities. Luke and Alex will go into some more specifics in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you, three. This is really exciting. And I just, if you're good, give me a thumbs up to just dive into the questions that I've kind of prepared to get the webinar going and have people learn about the great work that you're doing. Okay?
Can
awesome.
We do a quick intro? I think Alex wants to do an intro.
Okay, perfect. Because with the intro too, I want you guys thinking about, because we really love to know how it is that you guys came up with your name. Okay? All right, go for it, Alex.
So Rich Kids Global is a platform run by kids for kids where mentors from across the globe can come and teach them the tools to level up and succeed in life. Our Rich Kids Global has actually formulated an acronym. So we have formulated an acronym that describes our values and our recipe for success. That acronym is MAPS. We incorporate these values in all of our courses, mentor calls, and all of the above. And that was a quick.
Yeah,
Great job, man. Great
that
job.
sounds awesome. Just absolutely awesome. So I did a little homework, guys. So make sure you let me know if I'm on target. So your acronym MAPS, M for making a difference, A for adaptability, P for passion, and S for success.
We've actually changed the M from making a difference to mentorship because we believe that making a difference is not a value, it's a must. So we decided to change it to mentorship because that is one of the key parts of our business, and making a difference is just a given here at Rich Kids Global.
Amazing. That is just awesome. So what are some other things, guys, that you might want to dive into before I get into the questions?
I'm ready for the questions if you
Ready?
guys are.
I'm ready as well.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay, so you've done a beautiful introduction. You've given us an idea of where you're coming from and what your business is set to do and put out there into the world. Talk to me about some of the advice that you guys might have for adults and educators that can help them teach kids how to be successful.
Well,
Yeah, so I think it's all about market researchers, especially. We are for kids by kids, and that's very important because if you're working with a certain market, you're going to be wanting to be like this with the market, because if there's no connection between you and the market apart from what you're trying to do commercially, then I don't think that's going to be a very positive relationship. Because if you have no relationship other than a business relationship, you're not going to know your target market. You're not going to know how they work, and how you can not only provide your services for them, but know how they're happy, they actually like your services, and how they're going to actually take value, because that's what it's all about. Here, what we are here to do is we're here to help kids, help young people, where we didn't really get the help. My story is I started when I was 8 years old, and ever since I was 8, I've been trying new businesses. I started off doing a clothing line. Now it's crazy. We got our own clothing line for Rich Kids Global. Look, we got all the
Nice.
merch. Alex and Ben's are coming on the way. Europe is closer. England is in Europe, so I got mine a bit quicker, but theirs are on the way. But ever since I was 8 years old, I started a clothing line. That didn't go too well. Then I went on to move to Australia when I was 10. And then I started a candle making business. I got candles, and sadly, I ran out of money. So sad, because I was so amazing at making these candles. They were pretty good. And my first successful venture was I went to I was living in Sydney, and every New Year's Eve we have a wonderful firework display on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and I went to one of the most scenic spots in a place called Vaucluse, and I went to a place called the Reject Shop, where there was really cheap. I got glow sticks, and they were at good price. I spent $80, and then I went out with one of my best friends in Australia, in Sydney, and we went out selling glow sticks for hours and hours and hours. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, and I broke even for the first time. And as each business venture went on, I actually found my first mentor, and my mentor drastically changed my views on business, how I run businesses. And I want to provide that for other kids, and that is why you should know your target market. I know I've kind of gone on a tangent, but I thought that was needed.
No, that's excellent, because it helps round out the discussion, and it really gives people an idea of, where you've started, where you're at, and where you're headed, right? Because if we could wave a magic wand and have all our dreams come true tomorrow, of course, we would all want that magic wand, right? But we know in life, it takes lots of hard work. Sometimes it takes things to kind of crash and burn, right? Before you can continue to learn. And as you guys say, level up, figure things out, and keep on trying, right? Until you get it. So, Alex, do you have some things to add on to what Luke was sharing?
Yeah, well, the advice I would give to anyone is have your kids start now. I mean, it's never too late to start. Have your kids start their journey to success.
Excellent. So nobody's too young, nobody's too old. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. And Ben, how about you? What can you offer around what can adults and educators add into, their experience and their responsibility in teaching children about success, not only now, but into the future?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to, setting up a good environment for that kid. A lot of studies show that environment plays a big role. And so, I mean, if you want your kid to, for example, with, digital technology, use this technology, you shouldn't be going on it from that much either. And that goes the same for entrepreneurship and being successful in the future. If you're trying to get your kid to be really successful, and follow their dreams, but if you're not following your dream at the same time, then they're not going to really understand. They're going to be like, you're telling me to follow my dream, but you aren't following your dream. And so I think a lot of it is, setting a good example and raising them in an environment where things that in some families might seem crazy, like starting a company, are normalized.
Excellent. Those are good points too. And, we really do have an impact, and we don't always know who might be listening or who is paying attention. And if you're leading by example, really that's probably one of the biggest pieces to helping others see that things are possible. You guys really speak well about the importance of mentorship, the importance of community. Talk a little bit, guys, about what you're doing to foster community around kids and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so I mean, in this world of entrepreneurship, in this world of business, I guess in general, I would say at this point, 99.99999% adults, which is natural. I mean, most things are 99.999% adults. But I think that entrepreneurs, while it's still 0.00001, there's a lot of them out there. A lot of kid entrepreneurs out there. But the reason why a lot of them don't succeed, maybe they lose interest in entrepreneurship, which is a factor of not succeeding, is because they don't know that there are other kid entrepreneurs out there. When I started my podcast, Kid CEO, I had no idea all the kids out there who were interested in business. And once I found that community of kids, it turned out a lot of them are already, their own small groups. There's a lot of kid entrepreneurs who are doing cosmetics. There's some kid entrepreneurs who are, helping their world through philanthropy. And, and so that brings us to what the Kids Global is talking about with community, Luke and Alex, and how we're trying to bring together all the kid entrepreneurs and people who want to be kid entrepreneurs, aspiring kid entrepreneurs together with successful kid entrepreneurs, put them together, and, together we can rise up and all be successful.
One of the things that's really striking me, guys, is that I'm a little bit older than you, and sometimes older people can have a tendency to maybe get a little bit cynical after they've had years of different experiences, right? And I'm so excited and grateful to the three of you for inspiring such hope and using your best creativity, using your best intelligence to really get things off the ground. One of the things that's really striking me is that I grew up and you can see it everywhere in the world of entrepreneurship and business especially, is competition. But what I'm getting from you guys is, yep, there might be a little bit of competition out there, but what you're really pulling from is the sharing of knowledge and building people up. Do I have the right sense from the three of you on that?
Yeah, and I'd like to add on, you're asking about community, and so I've got some friends that were kind of sucked in by the whole social media, and in social media and maybe just seeing people in real life. When I was younger, I never really realized that they are at a different point to me, and I shouldn't be looking at what they are doing right now. I should be looking at, well, what were they doing when they were at my age? Because we're at different levels. And if you're copying what someone's doing at that level, it's not going to work for you, because you didn't see what they were working through when they were at the level that you're at now. And when we bring in all these kids together, building a community of young entrepreneurs, we bring a lot of kids from the same level, young people. And when we bring in the mentors, mentors are meant to be people that are in the place that have succeeded what you want to succeed. And when we bring those kind of mentors in, this links with our Maps to Success program. And this is where we build courses with all the mentors. And this is so that kids on a wide range of spectrum can have mentors from every single part of business, every single part of success. Because success doesn't just mean business. It can mean being good at soccer, being good at football, being good at rugby, being good at your passions. And when we bring in mentors who have been through what these kids have been through, they can go through what they were doing at the level of these kids. Because when you see a guy driving down the street and he's driving the car that you like, or he's at the place where you want to be, you can easily get discouraged. And in my past business ventures, I never really realized that. One of my mentors, he was driving the coolest cars, always had the nicest Rolex watch on. And I realized that if I compare myself to him, then I'm just gonna give up. And that's why having a purpose here at Rich Kids Global, really to help kids achieve what we weren't able to achieve up until when we had mentors, is why we're building this whole community. And that's why we have built this community, trying to build this community.
Excellent.
Can I add to that, Luke?
Yeah, please, Alex.
So you are basically the average of the 5 people you hang out with. And so what I would recommend is hang out with those people who you really want to be. Hang out with, like what Luke was saying, find those mentors who you really want, who, inspire you to get where you want to be in life.
Great advice for sure, guys. And I think it's easy sometimes, it's human nature, regardless of your age, to kind of get sucked into other areas because you might think that, oh, they've got it all, or, oh, that's fancier, or, what, in sometimes, right, when you're talking about social media, getting sucked into the gimmicky stuff, right, that really looks good on the surface, but if you boil it down, it's not exactly as it seems. So what are some things, guys, that you might offer to the kids watching about finding some balance in their lives around their social media participation, and how that links to their overall success and the things that drive them?
Well, if you look at all the highlights, go, Ben. Go.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
All right. Yeah, so for my podcast, Young Trep, I had an interview with a guy named Evan Carmichael yesterday. And I asked him about this exact question, about, in a world where there's a lot of distractions like social media, how can we find our purpose? And that kind of goes hand in hand. If you want to find a balance between social media and regular life, you have to have something to do. If, you spend on average an hour on social media, it's not a stat, but, take that hour and you just delete social media. You still don't have social media, but you're still not doing anything for 1 hour, which in turn is going to make you go back on social media. So a big thing is finding your purpose, being able to impact others. And, a good way to find that out is to, for example, for kids, take your war subject. What are you, daydreaming about during that? You should take whatever you're daydreaming about during your war subject. That should be your purpose. If you're on social media, a lot of people are on social media. A lot of people don't realize there's a big opportunity in social media. You could, go to work as a social media consultant. Maybe, do some training today on analytics, AI. Maybe go work for Google one day. Go work for Facebook one day. And so a big way to find balance between social media and life is to find a purpose to help, supplement your.
Sorry, I think we're losing Ben a little bit in the connection, unless it's just on my end.
Can you
No,
hear me?
we got that. We just missed 10 seconds, Ben.
Yeah, sorry, Ben.
All right, yeah. So I mean, back to your question about finding a balance. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
So back to your question about finding balance between social media and life, all about finding your purpose. Because once you find your purpose, you're going to be doing things that stem out of that purpose. And I mean, sooner or later, you're going to go to your phone, social media, and it's not going to be nearly as as attractive anymore.
I really like the advice that you gave there about, because I think sometimes, if when someone says to anyone, oh, well, just find your purpose, that can either excite someone or it can be very overwhelming and be like, nah, not for me. So to break it down in the way that you have been, to even offer like, you know what, when you're sitting in class and you are in the subject that you don't love, what are you dreaming about there? That might be something that could lead you more to feeling centered and focused on what's important to you and what you enjoy doing. Alex, and do you have anything that came to mind during what Ben was saying?
Yeah, well, in order to have that, you have to have the passion, because I believe that passion drives the dream. And in order to have passion, we need to believe in something. So if I wanted to, like Luke was saying before, in order to have that passion for entrepreneurship and stuff, you need to believe in it. You need to believe in yourself.
And I think that's a big piece where you guys are saying that the mentors can come in to really help amplify someone's confidence, help them stay on the right track, maybe brainstorm out into another avenue that they hadn't thought of. And I'm wondering, for the three of you guys, what do you think is most important to be able to offer kids that kind of guidance?
Yeah, well, just looking at the places that we came from, we were all in a place where we had a lack of knowledge, and there really wasn't that place where we could just go and we actually got the support that we needed without getting scammed by a course. And there's really a lack of trust out there. And with all of these social media gurus looking for success, looking for money, because we're kids, we can't get jobs as much as you can get a job. I have had jobs, but gaining capital as a kid isn't the easiest thing. So one of my friends, he wanted to build capital by doing forex, and got sucked into a forex guru, and he got scammed. So we just want to build that trust so that other kids where we were, they can get mentors, because mentors is one of the best things that have ever happened to us. Because when you take the person that you want to be like, and you can sit down with that person and they can really guide you through the steps that they took to be successful, that can be life-changing. And often businessmen, businesswomen, successful people, athletes, cooks, people of that nature, successful people, they often credit books to their success. And that is why we've decided to, as one of our main products, services, to have an entrepreneurs book club. And this is where we sit down with kids every single week, and we go and we read a chapter, we break it down for them, because these books are written by some of the most intellectual people in the world. So there'll be hidden meaning and some things that these kids may not understand. So we break down the chapters and we extract all of the great information so that those kids can understand it fully.
That's excellent. And I'm glad to hear you talking about the real chance every day for people of all ages. And I'd venture to say, especially kids, who are a bit more vulnerable sometimes to scams, to people looking to take advantage. And, that makes me as a parent feel very glad to hear that you guys are taking those things into consideration, that you are, using your platform and your expertise and your mentors to ensure that you're building that trust and that you're being accountable as an organization as well to make sure that you're doing everything in good faith and above board. That's excellent. I'm wondering, before we dive into some content around your programming and the different things that you're going to be able to offer, if you could talk a little bit about the age groups that you're looking at. Can you break that down a little bit for us?
Well, we've got different age groups for the book club, which Luke was just talking about. So the book club has 3 different ages because in order to have, like, say, a little kid, we have to get them, their interaction level might be different to a teenager's interaction level. So that's why we have 3 different levels of age group and, interaction. And so that's really the biggest, really, we like to cooperate all the ages into all the launches and seminars we're going to do. And all those courses are going to be for all ages.
Okay. So for the book club, you mentioned 3 distinct categories of ages. Can you tell me what they are?
Yeah, so the lowest age group is from 6 to 9. And this is because I think from 6, you can really start to understand some more complex ideas. Of course, only when I'm coming up to these ages, I'm really coming to understand more of the world. And of course, a 6-year-old will not understand the things that a 15-year-old will understand. Of course, I'm nowhere near to how my views will be in 10 to 20 years. I'm still a teenager, but we're breaking these age groups into 6 to 9 for those younger kids who are just getting involved. Maybe their parents wants to get them involved in something, or maybe they've just got a goal. They want to be like someone they've seen on TV or something like that. And getting them in at such a young age, you're pretty much guaranteed success. We're working on these kids' mindsets so that at an age of 6 or 9, all the most successful gymnasts started at that age. In go-karting, all the Formula 1 drivers started at that age. So at that age, they're getting in the gate and they're starting to develop complex ideas before anyone else in their nurseries, kindergartens will be able to understand. And that's what happens at that age group. And then we go into 10 to 13. And this is the age group that Alex will actually be running for the Entrepreneurs Book Club. Now, these kids are starting to develop even more complex ideas. And at this age, kids are going into puberty, the very early stages into puberty. And along your childhood, there are lots of different changes. So grouping them into different age groups is going to be the best way to do it, because if you put a 16-year-old in with 6-year-olds, you're bound for a bad time. And then we're having 14 to 18, which me and Ben will be running. And this is for the teenagers who I'm a teenager, so I can credit for this. Sometimes we don't want to deal with the younger kids, typical teenage stuff. So grouping them all in one place is the best thing to do. And they're starting to become an adult. So that's where the most complex ideas are going to go. And that's why it's so important that we're grouping them into those age groups.
Wonderful. I think you've taken a really responsible approach around how you have divvied up the age groups. You're absolutely accentuating and highlighting the strengths in each of those groups, and then the areas in which you'll be able to grow, help the kids grow, which is great. For the younger ones in particular, I'm wondering, where do you see the parents fitting in with supporting the programming that you'll be offering?
So go.
Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
So when kids get into gymnastics and racing, like Lewis Hamilton, he got in at a young age. Parents, of course, the kid, he's going to be the guy driving the go-kart. He's going to, of course, be the one who's reading the books, but the parents are going to be the ones who are there on the sidelines to help read the books. Sometimes when I was a kid, my dad, I sat on his lap and we read books together. Helped me learn to read, and so they're just going to be there to help at those age groups, just like any other hobby that a kid would have at that age. and the parents are going to be the people who are buying it. So of course they know what they're getting their kid into, and of course they're going to be there to support them. But we're just here to set the guidelines for the kids and set the program so that the parents can just sit down with their kid and enjoy the program and get all the benefits from it.
Excellent. Now, you guys have mentioned throughout our discussion so far around the content of the programming and the areas in which you want to help kids achieve their success, with from the goal setting right through to the planning to making it all happen. You've talked about things such as entrepreneurship, but it could be something, as you mentioned, in the athletic world, something that whatever is their passion. And I'm wondering if that also includes in any of your thought processes or the mentors that you may already have on board for kids that want to have the initiative to not necessarily make a profit for themselves, but maybe to do charitable work.
Yeah, well, like, you have to have the passion first, and that's the main thing in business. Like, the reason we did Rich Kids Global is because we have the passion for teaching kids and teaching them the right stuff in life. So in order to start a business or just a little side hustle, you have to have the passion for it in order for it to be successful. So, like, say you have a passion for football, you can make a business out of anything, just so long as you have the passion.
Yeah, and my dad, growing up with my dad's always been in charity, and I've realized that there's the same corporate structure in charities. It's just a different cause. It's just non-for-profit, and our tagline is level up for success. So in whatever we can with our clients, our customers, our community, in whatever they want to achieve, I've said we go from a broad spectrum from athletes to entrepreneurs. Anything that we can help these kids do is we just want to help them level up for success where we felt that we didn't have the same opportunity. Just like how when you were a kid 20 years ago, you didn't have the internet, and now we have the internet, and we want to bring that same revolutionary idea.
Excellent. Well, where do you guys want to take the discussion now? I realize I'm the host and your moderator, but this is really an opportunity for you guys to make sure that you're getting out the message and the information in the best way that you envisioned. Is there something you'd like to touch on?
Well, is there anything that you've realized, any gaps? Because you said that you had a look at the website. Is there anything that you think we've missed, any gaps in the topic that
I don't think any gaps. I really enjoy talking to you guys. I could talk to you forever. I just really enjoy the natural flow and the support that the three of you offer each other. And I really, really appreciate the genuineness behind the initiative that you've taken to form Rich Kids Global. I think it's really going to reach truly all of the areas of the world. And I like how it is that, like you mentioned, Luke, that broad spectrum. So anything from, taking off and making the big bucks to being somebody who wants to make a difference for their community or community abroad, whatever that looks like. And Alex, you've summed that up beautifully in passion. What is your passion? Ben, then you help kids figure out, geez, passion, that's kind of a big word. How do I even figure that out? I'm going to take a look at my cheat sheet here. And I wanted to make sure that you guys were able to offer a really good description of the different things that you will be able to offer in the categories in which you've kind of framed them. You've done well to explain the age groups. So you're looking at kids 6 to 9, 10 to 13, and then 14 to 18. So talk about the successful startup program.
Luke?
Yeah, so me, Alex, and Ben, we've all attended a program in the past where it kind of helped us to get our ideas together and put them together ready for a launch, a product launch, or ready for investing. And we saw how we could transform that into a new program because it's for kids by kids. We saw some things that we could do just to make it the best it can be. And it's an 8-week program. And when kids have no idea about what they want to do, like Ben said, when you're bored in class and what do you think about, that's usually the passion. But to turn that into just an idea, say a kid, he wanted to have he had a crazy idea. He wanted to start a business making and selling footballs, American footballs. How do we turn that from just an idea into a reality? I had an idea to create a digital marketing business called Red Pixel, and I was stuck. I didn't know how some massive tech company would go from just an idea into something. And we're going to go through everything that a kid needs to know to get from that idea to get them ready for funding, a product launch in an all-inclusive 8-week program.
So when you talk about an 8-week program, that gives everybody an idea of the commitment, the time commitment. In what way will someone be participating? And what I mean is, will it be a combination of online, over the phone? What kinds of ways are you going to make the program happen?
Video and calls like this just on Zoom. Yeah. So twice a week, we're going to have Zoom calls, and also there'll be a video program all about how to get your pitch deck started, and just going the basics of your values of your business, things that you're passionate about. And in all of my business ventures in the past, I've always thought about, well, if I'm going to do this, how am I going to make money from it? And money used to be the key for me. How am I going to get money? And with every venture, it's just become less motivating and less motivating. And now whenever I think about money, it just puts me off. I can't get work done when I'm like, because I really like cars. And my favorite car right now is the BMW M3. And I would have used to say, all right, if I get this done, it's going to get me close to the BMW M3. But now what gets me there is purpose. If I think about the kids that I'm going to help, how do I make all my content meaningful so that I can actually see that happening? Now that I've got my purpose, that helps me so much to get everything done, because now I can see, right, this is my end goal. This is who I'm helping. How can I look at the problems that I face, Alex faced, Ben faced, incorporate that into my business? And that is just one of the many different aspects of creating a startup that need to be there in order to be successful. Like I said, money now, it just puts me off. So when you're starting a startup, a lot of people go in saying, oh yeah, I'm going to make this massive tech startup and I'm going to become a billionaire. I'm going to sell out, and overnight I'm going to be rich. But that is just setting yourself up for success. And I once had that mindset, and after having mentors and sitting down and going trial error. And on Monday, I'm turning 16, which will mean that half my life has been dedicated to creating businesses. And I want to share half my life and what I've experienced from mentors and help other kids get that. And that's what all successful startup is all about.
I agree with you. And I think you guys have shown, even just in that explanation, Luke, where the growth has happened, right? And where you're open to growth continuing. And your idea of success, right, changes over time, right? Because your purpose links to what that success needs to look like for you. Alex, what were you going to say?
Yeah, well, and the awesome thing about successful startup is that it's not just inclusive with the kids, but also with the parents. So in order to have a business, you have to have the money. So the kids actually come up with a business idea and they actually pitch it to their parents, and their parents act as the investors.
Excellent. Okay. And so with that, is the setup going to be where, okay, I've paid for my child to join the 8-week program, and we're going to do this via video, and through your mentorship and how you've described kind of the curriculum through it, is it just my child and you, or is there a group of kids? What do you guys envision when you're rolling that out?
Yeah, so we're gonna have 2 calls every week over the 8-week program, and there will be videos along with that. And in every call, everyone from the 8-week program is going to be done in. It's not going to be every single time someone pays, they're going to be immediately enrolled in the program. Like I said earlier, everyone's at a different level in life. You know, if you see a successful guy, he's sold out his startup and he's at a completely different place level than someone who's starting and entering our successful startup. And by having everyone in that program and everyone in the call at the same place, that's going to promote everyone's at the same level and they can relate to each other. And that's the great thing about some of the programs that all of us have been on. When we're at the same place as everyone else in the program, we can relate to each other, and that links to the community. And it's just a very supportive community. Everyone's at the same place, and it's the best way to go. So that's how it's going to be structured. And yeah, and at the end of it, of course, the kid can pitch to his parents, but we also have access to a number of investors. So if, of course, we'll be able to show the investors the videos, and if they're interested, and if the kid is, every kid is going to come out with an amazing pitch. But investors are going to see that, and if they want to go over to investors and sell a percentage and really level up for success, there will be investing opportunities left, right, and center.
I'm wondering too, and a question has come in, if you guys have any ambition to, you're doing well to fill the gap with your vision and how you're going to roll that out as entrepreneurs yourselves, offering this service. Have you thought about working with the school systems and bringing this into formal education?
Well, school has never been there for money. School has never taught financial education, and that is the biggest part of school that is missing. No one comes out of school knowing anything about money, only what society has told them and what their parents have told them. Me, Ben and Alex are very lucky that we have parents that have told us, and mentors that have taught us the truth about money, and that you can go society's way, go to university. You know, that's not the wrong way. It's just the way that society has played it out. So going to college and then getting a job, and none of that is wrong. But if you truly want to be successful, working for someone else and achieving someone else's goals for them is not going to get them those extraordinary goals. And this is nothing new. You always see all the big entrepreneurs talking about this, the big Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez. So this is nothing new, but it would be amazing if that could happen, because I think that is a massive gap and that has never been taught in school. So that would be an amazing opportunity if that could happen.
Excellent. Okay, well done. And I think very well said. I hope that we've been able to kind of capture, as you mentioned, not only the intention behind the programming for the startups, but the structure, the 8-week, the two calls a week, those kinds of things. And then you mentioned earlier in our discussion about the book club, and you've broken that down a little bit about being able to help kids make sense of a lot of the material that's out there. Because there's a heck of a lot of it, isn't there, around what people have in mind and how to achieve success in the best way or the quickest way, those kinds of things. Anything additionally you want to offer around the structure of the book club?
Ben, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so what we are doing for the book club, the entire goal of it is, seeing how much books have changed the lives of me, Luke, Alex, and a lot of really great entrepreneurs. Right now I'm reading this book. It's called, I guess it'll blur out the background, but it's called Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Changed my life already. And, I have to say, every book I've read, it's changed my life. And we want to bring that feeling to every kid in Rich Kids Global. So I'm really excited to introduce our book club, but it's really more than a book club. So it is, like what Luke and Alex said, a place where kids different ages can come together, speak about books and help them understand the books through workbooks, through the weekly calls. But another aspect of it is something we're really excited to roll out. We're doing a little bit more development. This is the first you ever heard about it, but it's called the Rich Kids Global, a Young Entrepreneur Book Club. But there's more plans on to allow you to actually receive the book in kind of a subscription box type feel. So in addition to working every single week with
Backtrack
your
10
group
seconds.
of kids.
Yeah, we just lost you a
All
second.
right. Yeah. So in addition, can you guys hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you guys hear? Okay. So in addition
Good.
to having those weekly calls with your peers, there's also going to be another aspect of it that is going to make the experience 100 times better. I promise, 100 times better. All right, we're going to ship you the book too in a subscription box format. So not only will you be, being able to go online and read about a book, you're also going to be able to receive your book and a bunch of goodies every single month right to your door. It's going to make the experience 100 times richer. I get it. And, it's going to get kids more motivated, excited, and most of all, encouraged and motivated to be successful.
Excellent. Very good. And then I think the third option in terms of services that you want to be able to deliver is what you had mentioned, maps. So can you give me an idea of what that piece of things looks like?
So Maps to Success is the whole program name. MAPS, of course, represents our values, the acronym for our values. And MAPS is very important to us because no one has the same map. Everyone has a different journey. If you are doing a tech startup, you're going to have an extremely different map or route to your success than an athlete or a Formula One driver, or even someone who's doing a digital marketing company. Everyone has a different map. Everyone, and this is very important because success is another part. We all want everyone in our program to achieve success, and this is through mentors. So Maps to Success is where we partner with mentors using, and every mentor represents a tool, and the mentors they represent a tool, and this tool is the industry that they are an expert in. So if a kid wanted to be a pro Formula One driver, we'd have someone like Lewis Hamilton be the mentor for that. If someone wanted to be an expert in investing, we'd probably have someone like Robert Kiyosaki as the mentor for that. And we are building up programs for every single passion that possible that a kid could want. We have a mentor and a program for that because everyone has a different map, and we want to link them up with the mentor who's done what they want to achieve. And as I said before, the mentor can understand where that kid is now, where that young person is now, and where that mentor was when he was at that level, and guide them through with video programs. And they'll go through with a video program, and we'll be able to set up calls with the mentors and the kids, because everything that we do is around the kid. If it takes losses for a company, we'll do that, because we're not about the money. As I said, money is starting to put me off now, and it's all about the passion. I want to do something good because I've gone through that phase where I want money. But that is our core of the business. And Maps to Success is the most direct way that we can get the kid to the mentor, the most direct route to know the plan for success.
Yeah, and we use those maps to navigate the mountain of success that we have to climb in order to be successful.
Well, and I think that brings me, guys, to another piece in our discussion that I would like to have with you before we wrap things up. And that's around, I want to congratulate the three of you for also recognizing the position that you're in terms of your privilege and your family and your education and opportunity to be able to live out your passion, right? and to have that cushion and that environment around you to be able to try things, to make mistakes, to try again, to ultimately bring you to exactly where you are in this moment on a global platform with an established company that you're going to be offering services to kids where you've identified a huge gap from your experience. I think it's fair to say that a lot of people don't get to that kind of insight in their teens, let alone into their 20s, 30s, and hi, I'm in my 40s. So it's just really, as I've said earlier to you guys off screen, very inspiring, very hopeful, very genuine and practical. I like that you are looking at things realistically, that, you know what, you have a very nice balance of, you know what, everybody has dreams and goals, and maybe some things that might be a little bit unattainable. For example, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow being a billionaire and not putting any effort or focus into that, right? So I'm wondering what your take is on being able to grow your initiative around how this might be able to reach children who are in countries that are not as established as the ones in which we live, and even kids that are in our countries that may not have the amenities and the cushions that we are accustomed to.
Yeah, and my family comes from Zimbabwe. My mum was born there. My dad moved there when he was very young, I believe 2 months old. And the unemployment rate in Zimbabwe is 98%. That means that only 2% of the population are employed. And I doubt that coronavirus hasn't helped that, if they even have taken coronavirus precautions. And this visiting Zimbabwe over 8 times in my lifetime has really shown me what needs to be done in these countries. And we want to help people level up for success. And we are planning to have a charitable part, because we understand that people in those positions can't really afford the kind of opportunities that we're giving out. And if we just give one person in a village or in a small town access to, or in a family access to the programs, we can help them be able to start businesses and change their families' lives, their villages' lives, and give more and more opportunities to the people around them. So just by having a charity like that, it will be able to change a country one person at a time. And just from that one person who will have access to our programs, they'll be able to change their lives, first of all, by creating a business, and then everyone around them by being able to feed them and support them. And that comes from the heart, because seeing my family in Zimbabwe, what my dad's doing, what my uncle's doing, they both have a charity that they started called Hope Works, which is where they help people in Africa.
Okay, and I get the sense from you, guys and in our discussions that you would want it to be from that person's purpose, that person's culture. You're not kind of putting yourself and your vision in their seat. You're wanting them to grow from what their vision is. Is that right? Yep. Okay. Very good. Alex, Ben, anything to offer on that side of things?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a huge charitable part of it. One of the things we learned in the camp that we all went to was about how, companies these days, the most successful ones are also the ones that give back the most. And I think that that's something that we really are excited about, is being able to, keep on growing the business, but also as we keep growing, we can use our influence to make meaningful change. And also as, we keep growing, as we get new customers, we can use, because of course there's going to be profits from that, and we can use those profits to really make change. And I think a big thing is scholarships as well, allowing kids who maybe can't afford Rich Kids Global, provide them scholarships to come into the program. Because we really believe that we can take a kid who's never even known the word entrepreneur and make them into an entrepreneur in 8 weeks.
So I'm wondering, as we wrap up our call, if because we've done a lot about talking about what you're offering, what you guys are committed to, where your expertise comes from. You've talked a lot about the importance and the reliance on mentorship, not only what you guys will be offering to the kids that sign on, but the mentors that you will be linking them to. Is there a message you might have in mind for any potential mentors out there that might like to be in touch with you to offer their skill set to the kids that you're reaching?
Alex, you want to touch on that?
Yes, so
Yeah.
Oh,
If
sorry.
we have something. Oh, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, restart, Ben.
Oh, sorry, my Wi-Fi is really acting up. Can
Yeah,
everyone hear me?
go.
There you are.
Yeah. Good, perfect now.
All right, yeah, I mean, so for any mentor out there who wants to join our program, know that you will be talking to a lot of very committed, very ambitious, self-motivated kids. You know, they're going to be the people that you talk to on a normal basis, those entrepreneurs, and they're going to be just as, you know, upbeat and excited as them. And so and also it's important to note the difference you're going to have in this kid's life. I mean, you know, a lot of successful entrepreneurs, potential mentors, mentor other adult entrepreneurs. And you know, they see a big change in them. Imagine what you can do, an impact you can have on a kid who's growing up, and knowing that you're really making a difference in kids' lives who will grow up and be our next generation of leaders. So if you're interested at all in that mission, please reach out to us.
Excellent. Luke, Alex?
Richkids.global.
There we go.
Richkids.global is the website. If you go on to contact us, there'll be 2 email addresses.
Fantastic. Alex? Sorry, if I cut you off there, was there something you wanted to add?
I think Ben really covered everything.
Okay, excellent. So one more time, how people can reach you? Okay. So Rich Kids
.global
global
is the website, yeah.
I don't want to mess that up. That's important. And the merch, is that going to be available for just like, you know, a fan in your corner to purchase?
Oh yeah, of course. There'll also be giveaways to anyone a part of our programs. You know, always be aware of a little something coming in the post box.
Okay. And when is your launch date, guys?
May the 1st.
May the 1st. You know, proof positive that good things are happening in this global pandemic. Absolutely. And to celebrate those things and to remember that regardless of the hardships we might be facing, you know what, there's hope, there's excellent things happening, and our youth are making a difference in this world. And I'm just so proud to be sitting here with the 3 of you. You know, kudos to your folks for being behind you and supporting you through this, and that you're willing to share this with the world. You know, we often hear people kind of philosophically talk about children having a voice, kids doing the right thing, kids being our future, but you're really living proof positive that that's true. So thank you very much to the 3 of you for this. So richkids.global, we'll make sure that we're putting that all around. And do you have a social media presence on all apps? Forgive me.
Instagram and Facebook right now. So Instagram is same as the website, richkids.global. And if you just type in Rich Kids Global with spaces, it will come up.
Fantastic. So we'll be sure to promote that on our end and keep in touch. And we look forward to more discussions with the 3 of you to kind of follow your progress and up and coming things. You please keep us in mind and let us know what's happening. And thank you for being very beautiful examples of young men in this world that are trying to make a difference. We need more of you and we celebrate you. Anything else you guys want to leave us with?
I'd just like to thank you guys for this opportunity. It's been awesome jumping on this call. Thank you guys so much. Much appreciated. I can't thank you guys enough.
Aww.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate it.
You're most welcome. So with that, I think that's going to wrap up our call for this evening. or this morning or afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. I think one of you needs to get to bed soon. So in closing, before we wrap up, I just have a few announcements to share with you in terms of the Voice of Men 360 organization. There's 4 live shows weekly. Open Up, which is sharing your personal journey. It's a live talk show on every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a weekly webinar on Saturdays, which is an example of what we've just done, that will air on Saturdays from 10:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And Vili, I in English, which is sharing your personal life journey, a Tamil live talk show. And that's hosted on Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for people who live outside of Canada. And the 4th way is a panel discussion, which is held once a month in English and in Tamil. We have a podcast, Open Up, in English to participate at your leisure and your convenience. Vili, I, in Tamil, participate in that as well at your convenience. We recently started our monthly men's group meeting, and there'll be more information on that as well. The 3rd Sunday every month from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the great thing is anyone can join. We're always looking for new members and volunteers to join us at Voice of Men 360. There's no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. All walks of life can participate in any of the shows. And if you want to be a guest on our shows or willing to be part of the organization and help us, which is all volunteer-based, directly or indirectly, please reach out. We would love to work with individuals, professionals, experts, community organizations, associations, corporations, government officials, and businesses, you name it. Voice of 360 really wants to hear from you. So the phone number, 437-889-8329. Email address is info@voiceofmen360.org. Our website, www.voiceofmen360.org. You can also find us on all of the social media, Facebook group page. You can join the group so you can see the daily activities, invite your friends as well. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Voice of Men 360. We want to reach out to more people and help more people abroad. Please continue your support, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, boys, for being here this evening, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you.